That's a bit. All right. So today's topic:
Mm-hmm.
are degrees necessary
Mm.
in the professional world? Are they necessary? So, do you need a degree to take care of yourself and get a job in today's economy? We're gonna start with you. Yes or no?
Now this is degree. This is university. This is 2 year college. This is just anything after high
Two
school.
2 year, 4 year graduate, doctor, like whatever.
Right.
Like,
Now I'm gonna say sometimes it depends on what profession that you are going into. Do I think that they're necessary for the most part? No. But if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, you know that you have to go through the schooling avenue in order to become, you know, one of those people in the world. So at
mhm.
to a certain extent, you have to go to school in order to, or to obtain a degree in order to be able to pursue the profession that you want to. So I can say yes and no.
Okay. For me, on a large scale, I'm gonna say no,
Okay.
but I will say that a degree grants you the opportunity to have the conversation, like to get
Mm,
the interview.
mm-hmm.
So I think the economy currently is kind of like in the middle. Like we're kind of on the fence. I think about 30, maybe 30, 45 years ago, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever it changed from skill set to having a degree was like the holy grail,
Right.
maybe 30 years ago or so. I
Mm-hmm.
think we're shifting back over to find the balance between your paper credentials and your actual on-job experience.
Mm,
And I say that specifically in the fitness world. I'm primarily in the fitness world full time. I'm a manager in the fitness world, so I hire and fire people.
right.
So my thing is, man, I've seen close to over the past 10 years, I've seen a bunch of resumes. And I've seen a bunch of people have a bunch of certifications and a bunch of degrees and all of this shit. And then when you ask them scenario based questions, they have either never been through that, they
Mm-hmm.
don't answer them properly, they get stuck, they're not confident,
Yep.
they have no idea what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Can you ask
I
that question again, please?
yeah, like this ain't a spelling bee. Like
Yeah.
we we asked you for depth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So if you don't have the depth in you, you're not gonna find it if you hear the question again.
Right.
So, and I can only imagine how that is in other genres of profession
Right.
when, people spend all their time in school and they don't take advantage of an internship or they don't take advantage of shadowing opportunities. They don't take
Right.
advantage of volunteer work. They don't take advantage
Mm-hmm.
of, having their references in order.
Okay.
So you sitting on two or three degrees, credentials, and you didn't walk the stage, and you got all these damn caps and gowns at the house, but you don't have no on job experience.
Yeah,
So
you have no skill sets. Yeah.
yeah, bro, you step into an interview and motherfuckers be like, "What can you do?" Like, fuck what you
Right.
learned. Like, what can you do?
Right.
So that's where I'm at.
It just me, just in the field that I'm in, and the company that I work for, and I always just remember that Steve Jobs did not get a degree. He did not go to college and graduate with the degree.
Hmm.
And his company is one of the largest, top three companies in the entire world. So it's just like you said, it's about skill set, it's about networking, it's about being, in the know of certain people, just being able to network and really just have that mindset. That's what's going to set you apart from everybody else. Being able to have that work ethic, I think that's going to put a lot of people ahead more than people that actually went to school and worked hard to get a degree. I think it just all comes down to basically your play in the field. Basically, that at
Hmm.
the end of the day, it's just how
Yeah.
you perform in the field. Because I know a lot of people that are in high positions at my job, they didn't graduate from. from college. They went to high school, they just started working and started doing like not even trade schools, but you can get on the internet and you can take a course to where you can get a certification, or that way at least prepare you for when you get in those rooms to where you have those talks and they ask you those questions. You can
Mhm.
just bullshit it because you already know the answer to it. You never even sat and worked in this field yet, but you just know exactly what to do. And that's gonna put you ahead, before anybody. It's all about the experience or the things that you take upon yourself to learn. So I feel like that's gonna put you ahead more times than not.
Yeah, for
Everybody
sure.
can go get a degree, bro. You can go to school if you can pay the money.
Yeah.
You can go to school, but you're not finna really. It's just about what you did during that time. Just like you said, did they volunteer? Did they were they part of different organizations? Okay, but it's like if you didn't do the legwork, you don't really have nothing to show for it. At the end of the day, it's just paper hanging up at your grandma's house. So, so I mean, at that point, bro,
Cause
what
you
are we
already
really?
know where it's at.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
already know
What are
where
you
it's
really
at.
doing?
Right.
What are we really doing here? And just like how you were speaking to like the times that we're in right now, like
Mm-hmm.
we are in the biggest entrepreneurial
Mm-hmm.
times right now, because just like you have your own business, bro, I have a ton of friends that have started their own business. We're in the pandemic right now, so a lot of people are getting laid off, so you're almost forced to create your own revenue. So I think now people just know that I can really just go out there. If I put my mind to it, I can really just go out there and get it for myself. You don't even need the degree to start creating income, bro. So at that point, degrees are at this point they're almost obsolete, bro. It's like you don't even need to go to school in order to gain knowledge. I think that when I have kids, bro, my kids not going to school. They're going to YouTube University because I've learned a lot of things on the internet, bro. So
Oh
yeah, I
snap.
think it's just about the dedication that you want to put into whatever it is that you want to venture into.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
I think, when I think about college, I think college is good for life perspective.
Yeah, life.
Like college is good for you to understand time and priority management and stress
Hmm.
management and dating and all of that shit all compiled in one.
Right.
But as far as like the academic side of it, unless you're at that school for a specific highly rated
Yeah.
program,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like if you're just going through
Education, maybe something
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
if you're
Criminal
just
justice.
if you're just going through the motions and you're just thinking that you obtaining that 4-year degree is going to put you ahead of the curve, you got to remember that most high school students are pursuing higher education.
Right.
So it's not the way that it was 30, 40 some years ago where you had this select few people who went off to college.
Hmm.
Now it's a knee-jerk thing just to be like, yeah, I'm going to such and such, I'm going to this university, I'm going to this college, I'm going to this JUCO, I'm going to this, community college or just whatever.
Right.
So it's not this grand unicorn thing to where like I have a degree. They like, nigga, so what?
Yeah. Exactly.
Like,
So.
yeah, you having a degree is like having running water at your house. It's
A
like,
lot
all
of people
right,
go. A lot of people end up going to university because they want to play sports, bro. A lot of football
yeah,
athletes.
yeah, for
They go.
sure.
They're good in high school, but then at that point, once they get chosen to go to the college, they don't even have to really do no schoolwork, Jay. So
Hmm.
at that point, it's like it's no point of even being in that university except to play sports. So at the end of the day, it's almost like it's college is
Man,
not needed at that point. It's
and,
just a stepping stone.
I've made a personal video about being a collegiate athlete in
Hmm.
college at U of H, bro. And
Hmm.
I'm telling you, like the student athlete experience at the next level has very little to do with preparing the person for the professional next level.
Right.
So even if you are going to make it to the NFL or NBA or whatever sport you're pursuing at a
Hmm.
professional level, you know, you're still somebody still handling and taking care of those aspects for you. You're
Exactly.
you're not really groomed to know and understand what the hell is going on, which is why you have so many athletes waste money or not
Yep.
invest or
Hmm.
they end up getting kicked out the league or off the team for
Right.
doing some pedestrian shit like
Exactly.
getting in fights at the strip club or something like that,
Right.
you
Right.
know? And then
Hmm.
even at some point, if you are a great stellar athlete at that level and you make it professional, at some point that shit's gonna come to an end. And then
Right.
what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
So either you're going to do something with the money you've accumulated, or you're going to do something outside of your sport to continue to earn money, to actively earn money,
Right.
as well as hopefully passively earning money too if you've made investments with your money.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of athletes don't.
Right.
But as it relates to everybody, not just athletes, a lot of people place that heavy weight on that paper credential because they're getting advice from their parents and their grandparents
Mm-hmm.
who grew up in a time where the
Different
paper
conditions.
credential was
Mm-hmm.
everything,
Yep.
and we're moving back into a frame of like, all right, you went to school, that's cool, but like, did you complete any internship hours? Do you have any references as to like how
Yeah.
you've, converted all of this into the field, or like,
Right.
did you just like study and fall asleep in the library for a few years? You know what I'm
No,
saying?
yeah, yeah. Your nana wants you to be able to come to church, and then when the pastor randomly, I want all the college students to stand up right now, and then your nana looking over like, look at my
Right.
grandson, yeah,
Uh-huh.
like,
He
look at
went to
my grandson,
college.
bro. But
He
then like, so the
graduated.
the other thing too is like, and I'm one of these people. Is like, you go to school for one thing, and then
Hmm.
once you graduate with that degree, do
Right.
you think that your job, the job that you're gonna have, is gonna be what your degree was in?
And that's
Not
crazy.
even close, bro.
That's
It's not
crazy.
even close. So, a lot of the times too, and it's like you look back at it and you think to yourself like, damn, did I really just like waste my time because I didn't pursue, what my field? But then it's just like I ended up honing and learning skills on the job that I currently have in order to be where I am. So it's like sometimes you fall back on yourself like, damn, I wasted my time going to school. But then if I think about it, I gained those life skills that you were saying.
Yeah.
I joined a fraternity, and all of
Hmm.
that has built me and prepared me for the current life that I'm living now. So just like you said, a degree is not necessary. Is college, the college aspect, necessary?
Hmm.
I think so, to some extent, because high school is 100% different than college. So I feel like everybody needs that college experience. That's why you hear like a lot of rappers, they'll say like, "Oh yeah, I went to school for 2 years, but then I dropped out." They just wanted to get a feel for, for how life is at the next level, and that's all it is. And that makes sense because they knew that their heart wasn't in anything. They weren't getting a degree in something they was going to be passionate about. So they were
Right.
just like, fuck this shit, bro. I'm finna just start rapping because that's really my passion. And they end up excelling in that. So I
Right.
think it's just really about knowing what you want to do in life,
Yeah.
or what your path is. And I think sometimes college is the step, or getting a degree is that step you want to take. Because I've got a line, brother. This nigga been in school for goddamn like 8 years, bro. But now he's at the point to where he's a doctor, and that's what he wanted to do. And that's,
Yeah.
you have to go through those steps in order to become a doctor. So it
Yeah,
paid
for
off for
sure.
him. It's not like that for everybody though.
Yeah. I would tell people only go to school and only achieve the amount of paper credentials you need to get started.
Hmm.
Because you only need enough to get your foot in the door.
Right.
I always consider myself lucky because I was in school to be an athlete.
Right.
For the most
Straight up.
part, I didn't really care about what my degree was as long as it kept me eligible.
Okay.
I was fortunate enough to land in the kinesiology degree. So from U of H, I majored in sports administration, but it was a kinesiology degree. So
For sure.
it was kinesiology based.
Hmm.
Now that same degree plan is more so business based.
Hmm.
But when I was there, it was kines based. So I was doing biomechanics and anatomy and sports
Hmm.
science and all that, type of stuff. But
Right.
honestly, bro, I was doing what I needed to do to pass my classes
To be able to continue to
so
be an athlete.
I could be an athlete,
Hmm.
like that. That was it. I didn't have no plan. As a student athlete, you don't have time for internships. You don't have
Right.
time for a job. Like your actual schedule doesn't allow for it,
Hmm.
and those things are not empowered by the athletic department
Exactly. Yeah,
because
they're not even encouraging
yeah,
you to do other
yeah,
things.
nigga, you here to run, jump, and catch, and tackle,
Exactly.
and shoot, and whatever other fucks we think you need to
And
be
the
doing.
the weak part about that is too, bro. It's like, okay, they've pushed you to do that, but then let's say that you don't go to that next step to where you go, pro. Then you got to go to an interview and just basically
Hmm.
fake the funk because
Right.
you don't have no experience. You don't know what to do in these type of scenarios. And that's just with, I think, a lot of things in school we were taught things that didn't really matter once we got to the actual job. Like, I
Mhm.
have never used math, bro. I sucked at math, and I'm like, I never used
Yeah.
any of that on the job that I'm on right now, bro.
Yeah,
I
of
feel
course not.
like, yeah, it was really just like a waste of time. Other than life skills, bro, college is a waste of
I
time unless
mean,
you're pursuing
yeah,
a
for
specific
real.
route.
But what I also want to say too is that my degree got me the opportunity to interview to get
Mm,
into the fitness world. So
there you go. Okay, I like
I
that.
I started off at 24 Hour Fitness, and I wasn't certified at the time. I had just got out of college, but I had a degree in kinesiology. So
Hmm.
that gave me the prereq to start to get my feet wet. But I had
Right.
no on the job experience in the field. I was super wet behind the ears. I didn't know I didn't
Right.
really I knew athletics. I didn't know
Right.
fitness. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
When I
Hmm.
started, I didn't know shit about fitness. And the thing,
Mechanics and everything that go into it.
right. So my thing is like I got the job, I got the interview based on my job credentials, and I got my foot in the door. And I interviewed well based on my personality and my
Yeah.
character, but
Hmm.
they just gave me the job because I had a degree and they needed trainers. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Um,
But then,
so
bro, you also notice like on certain like when you're applying for a job, they'll have on there, okay, you need to have a bachelor's or you need to have a degree in this and this, or this many years of experience. So at the end
exactly.
of the day, it's like they just want to know that you are prepared for this role and that you have the skill set
Right.
at the end of the day. Yeah, the paper is going to say you have the possibility of having this skill
Right.
set, but that or 2 or 5 years of this, that's really what they're looking for. They're looking for the tangible.
Right, for sure. And I think what a lot of employers don't want to do is, regardless of your paper credentials, is they don't want to have to train you on the
Yeah.
basics. You know,
Hmm.
it's like, yeah, things specific to the company, things like procedure wise that are specific to the way we do business. That's something completely different, which everybody has to learn.
Right.
But they don't want to have to train you on shit that like any professional in the field knows just
Yeah,
walking
knows already.
around.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like people, like if we're in the fitness industry, I don't want to have to train somebody on what a body weight squat is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't like I shouldn't have to tell you where the hamstring is located. You know, like and
Yeah,
it
exactly.
sounds funny to say that out loud, but it's for
But
real.
people really don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you'll
Hmm.
get people who do enough to pass a test or pass a cert, but
Yeah.
they haven't been in the field long enough to be comfortable with all the scenario based things that happen in the field that
Right.
y'all don't go over in the textbook or during
Hmm.
your degree plan. You
Right.
know, so when I got my job at 24 Hour Fitness, I was learning on the job.
Right. Hmm.
Versus, next to people who have been training for years at that point or who had shadowed at other gyms or just whatever. So I
Hmm.
had to learn from scratch and then build myself
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
you know?
That makes sense.
And so what I would tell people in college or looking to get a degree is first do some research about what it is you really want to do, not
Yeah, that
what your
100%. Yeah.
parents told
Yeah.
you
That's
you
you
should do.
conditioned. Yeah, you're conditioned and you're influenced by your parents, your grandparents to go to college, but they don't tell you to really figure out what it is that you want to do. You know what I
Right,
mean? Until you can really understand what it is that you want out of life,
right.
I think that's the number one thing to figure out, bro. I think that's the number one thing to figure out.
And then, so after you figure that out, bro, I would say do some real research. Like, we
Hmm.
live in the world of unlimited resources. Like, the internet, Google, and YouTube can tell you just
Hmm.
about anything you want to know.
Exactly.
So I would figure out what it is you want to do, or at least what field you want to be in, and then I would start researching what a day in the life of that particular
Oh
job
yeah.
or
Hmm.
genre actually
Consists
looks
of.
like, and then
Hmm.
figure out if you need a degree for that shit.
Oh yeah.
And then
100%. Do
if
you
you
need to go this route
yeah,
in
or
order to obtain
because
it?
you could just need a certification, you could just need a license, you could just need experience. You know what I'm
You
saying?
could just need to know the right person to put
Right.
you in the door. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Bro, so
Like,
this is true story. I didn't mean to cut you off, but no, this
no,
is
you
just
good.
like what you're saying. So this is true story. I'm big into fashion, bro. I love everything about fashion. I wanted to be a personal shopper for people. I wanted to, I didn't want to really just design clothes that much, but I know I wanted to work in the fashion industry.
Right.
So at one point, I changed my major to like fashion merchandising.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I went to class for like a week,
Mm-hmm.
and the teacher told us that we had to create like this big ass, like my hands like this is
Yeah.
really how big the book was. It was like we had to create this big ass binder
Yeah.
of like these different fabrics and textures. We had to define them. And bro, I went to the fucking advisor that Friday, and
Grabbed
I
you
was
another
like,
slip.
hey, I said, hey man, this is not it. And it's like I didn't do the research because I didn't know that I could still get into that realm
Mm-hmm.
without having that degree, bro. I
Right.
just, if I knew somebody, or if I, did some internships, or if I just rubbed shoulders or network with somebody just to even let me have that conversation, I could
Mm-hmm.
have been in that realm without having to go through that. Like I didn't know that I was gonna have to really do this work in order to
Yeah.
get to where I wanted to go. And I was like, bro, there's no way this nigga think I'm finna be pasting all these fabrics in this binder, bro. So I'm like, hey, I don't even know why I left
Yeah.
Cohesive Factory, but I'm just gonna go ahead and go back to this
Yeah.
class, tough this out, bro. But you got to be real with yourself. You have to know exactly
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do, and you got to do the research. Just like you said, I did zero research. I just knew that was my passion, so
Mm-hmm.
I just dove into it without really knowing what all it entailed.
Right. And I mean, sometimes you'll be surprised at what you find, good
Hmm.
or bad, when you do that deep dive.
Right.
You can save yourself a lot of time, save yourself a
And
lot of
embarrassment,
money.
bro. I was like, fuck,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna go to class. They gonna be like, damn, where the hell did he go?
Right.
Like,
Right. For
yeah.
sure. Like somebody wanting to be like a photographer or something like that. It's like, nigga,
Hmm.
you can read all the books you want, but unless you know how to work the damn
Yeah.
camera, and unless you
Exactly.
have
Oh,
like
you have
that.
the eye. Yeah.
Exactly. You have the
Hmm.
creative mind to capture
Exactly.
moments, the way they should be captured. You could not,
Hmm.
ain't nobody give a
Yeah,
fuck.
exactly.
Like,
Because that was
yeah.
my minor, bro. I'm super passionate about videography, photography.
Hmm.
The class was cool. Like it was fun because I learned a lot of things, bro. But I didn't. It's like I thought I was gonna go into the class and be like, man, I already know how to use this camera, bro. I'm finna go in here and do this, bro. He had us in there, and we was like in a dark room. You had to develop your own. I'm like, what, bro? I thought this only
Yeah.
happened in movies, bro.
Yeah.
Like I
Nah,
didn't know I had to
dog.
go in here and develop my own film. And if I don't do this right or do this for the amount of seconds, it's not gonna turn out right. It's like you don't know those things because you don't take the time out to really figure out what all this entails, bro. So it's like you got to do the research, even if you're passionate about it. You really got to find the footprint of what's really going on in there,
For
or
real.
it's not really going to benefit you. Even though that being my minor did, I don't know, I wouldn't, because I was gonna say I think that helped me get the nice kicks job once I got out of school. But honestly, knowing the right people, being
Hmm.
able to network,
Right.
showing that I could do what I did with the camera, that helped me more than having that degree. You know what I mean? And like once she saw that I did have that, she was like, okay, cool. But I had already started working for them and showing them what I could do, so
Hmm.
they already had that there. So
Yeah. And I think
with no
another,
degree.
yeah, for sure. And I think another benefit to college outside of you trying to obtain a degree is, as you're saying, networking and getting to know people. Because
Hmm.
even if it's not formal, right, you could just
Right.
meet somebody and y'all could just be cool. And then years
Exactly.
down the line, they could remember you from college or remember your passion or just remember, something about you, even if y'all didn't stay in touch. And they
Right.
can reach out to you with an opportunity just to be like, hey man, like, are you still in the such and such? I got this
Hmm.
opportunity. I'm looking for people that I already know. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you
That
got
person
you
didn't
have
even have
that
to
too.
graduate. They could just be reaching out
Yeah.
to you, and y'all already getting some business jumping off. So
Right. For
that's
sure.
why, yeah. I don't think it's the degree aspect. I think more is it's the networking, like knowing certain people, branching out into different ventures, doing the research. I think that's what's gonna put you ahead, or that's what's gonna matter even more.
Yeah.
Because there's been just like you said, there's been a ton of people that have just hit me up. They just like, hey bro, man, I remember you was into the picture thing. Like, do you still do this type of
Hmm.
thing? And that's just like, if I wanted to go that route, then that's a business opportunity for me. Or I could
Yeah.
just help and put somebody else on that does this exact same thing. So
Right. For
that
sure.
networking is super key. That's like being in my fraternity, bro. Like the college experience, I joined a fraternity, and now I have brothers that I can always reach out to. Even if we're not the coolest, just like you said, if we don't talk every single day, I know that they may be in this type of business, so I can always reach out to them. I still have that shoulder to lean on if I needed them for whatever the case may be. So
Right. And I think too, I encourage everybody to do some type of internship or shadow or
hmm
volunteer work, because then you get to either one, apply your textbook knowledge to a real setting, and then you
Mm-hmm.
can cross-reference what you read and learned on paper as to how it actually happens in real
In
life.
real life.
And then you're going to get something from the real practical experience that you're never going to find in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always going to happen. And then you can
Yep.
have real conversations with people who have been in the field to tell you like, hey, I know what the books say, but it don't
Mm-hmm.
go down like that.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or
Or I
you have
know,
that scenario in an interview, like they might ask that, that one question, and you already got it set up because you've been in that situation before.
right. And you're showing that level of comfortability,
Mm-hmm.
within that situation. So people
Right.
trust you to give you the position and give you the job.
There you go.
I was talking to my stepbrother because he wanted to get into fitness, and he was talking about trying to go to school. I was like, hey man, you better not take your ass to school to,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
become a personal
A
trainer.
personal trainer, yeah.
You better go save up a few hundred and get this cert.
Right.
And you be
Yeah, just get
straight.
that certification and you good to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you be good. And then get you
Mm-hmm.
some practical experience, take care of your own body so you can
Right.
be a billboard for yourself.
Yeah,
Work on
there
your
you go.
marketing and presentation and how you package shit. And as long as you certified, you're able to get work.
Exactly.
So don't spend
Mm-hmm.
4 years and thousands of dollars for something you can get with $500 in about 6 weeks.
Boom.
You
You got
know?
to work smarter, not harder, bro. That's
Right.
what it's about. It's about working smarter, not harder. But yeah, I think a lot of this, I'm glad this is happening too. A lot of people are waking up to knowing that they can create their own destiny. They can create their own, their own life, bro, by just doing the research and then just taking that leap of faith without school and making
Mhm.
these things happen, bro. You see so many people on Instagram, on Facebook, starting their own businesses, and they're making way more money than they would have
Mhm.
going to school and just starting at some entry level job, bro. Because it's not promised that you're gonna get, the job that you went to school for. I know a lot of people that have went for business or went for, criminal justice, and they work at like Best Buy or something, bro. Like
Yeah, bro.
it doesn't work out always the way that you plan. So always have something just lined up to where you're passionate about it, that you can pursue it on your own. You don't want to have to depend on that degree because that's not always going to help you because everybody got the same degree, bro. So
Yeah, and I also want to say like a bonus factor to your earning potential is not just the people you know, but also too how you've branded yourself.
yeah, the
So
branding and the marketing is key, bro.
it's like, if you're not the most personable person in the world, you still have to find a way to convey your message so people want to work
Hmm.
with you and they want to be around you. And of course,
Right.
that's case by case depending on your field,
The field. Hmm.
or your specialization, I guess. But we live in such a world of marketing and promotion, and just about every field gets to that saturated point,
Yeah,
to where
for
you see
sure.
shit, like how many trainers are there in the world? Everybody
Yeah.
named mama a goddamn trainer.
Exactly, bro.
How many
Exactly.
photographers are in the world?
Hmm.
How many stylists are in the world? So it gets to a point to where, like, once again, as it relates to the paper credentials, it's like, okay, you check off the box of doing this, but what about you makes me want to work with you?
Yeah, exactly.
So then you have to really like dial in and be in tune with the experience you provide, what separates your
Yeah, what sets you
services,
apart?
what
Hmm.
sets apart, like, what about your personality and your practical performance that sets you apart? Because you can't just show up and like, huh, i'm a I'm a certified photographer, and they like, okay, like, so are like 20 of them niggas.
Everybody else in line.
So
Yeah.
like, show me some of your work and how you grab these angles,
Hmm.
because I want people to believe I'm a fucking rock star on
Right.
camera, not
Exactly.
just a regular guy promoting my brand. So what kind of
Right,
skills
bro.
you got? And then it's like, oh
Hmm.
shit, like, you
Hmm.
like, we're moving away from just checking off the box. Now
Yeah, no more
people,
checking boxes.
yeah, now people want to know like how you actually like coming to the table. Like, what are you actually doing?
Exactly. Just how you were saying, like how sometimes these fields can get saturated, bro. And I feel like that's where degrees are going now. I think having a degree is like oversaturated now.
Mm-hmm.
So because it just like you said, everybody has one. So it's like, what is it that's gonna set you apart, or what is it that you can do with this degree
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna get you? this job and put you in this role that you want to be in. But
Right.
that's, I mean, I feel like a lot of people should just pursue entrepreneurship because they, at that point you can create your own life, you can create your own work life, your work style, and you don't even have to deal with going to these, to the man's job and having to conform
Uh,
to what they want you, to what they want you to do, and you're not even getting everything out of it that you want. You know
I
what I mean?
mean, but not everybody has that spirit though. Not everybody
So then you
has.
really don't need to go to school if you don't have that spirit. You might as well go on to Walmart.
You know.
Not that whoever works at Walmart is a bad job. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But but you might as well just go ahead and just go somewhere just to work, just to be working at that point.
I mean, maybe, but you still have people who want a high level, high paying job where they're still more so in a subordinate role. They don't want to be in charge. They don't want to make decisions. They just want
Right.
to carry out their tasks for a hefty salary and then go home.
Right.
And
That's true.
I don't really see nothing wrong with that. My only thing is I don't like watching people waste time doing
Yeah,
the
waste time.
wrong thing
Hmm.
in college or with their degree plan and not maximizing the opportunity involved with
Hmm.
their degree plan or with their certification or whatever paper credential you're chasing. You need to also tap into how to get some practical experience along the
Yeah,
way.
with it. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. I feel that 100%, bro. I feel that.